We've reached the halfway stage of the season. This is round 6 of 11 for the Limited Adhesion Radical Championship presented by Make Real Media. Hello everybody, I'm Gareth and joining me as always in the virtual commentary box, Jim. How you doing, Jim?
I'm well, thank you. Hello Gareth, hello everybody else. Good to be here again. We're back in America.
Back in America, yeah, possibly the second most famous American speedway course. It's Daytona International Speedway. Let's look at the standings then from last time out. Jim, is it fair to say that we might be looking at a two-horse race for this championship now between Gavin Kelly and Mark Tranter? Are they starting to get a nose ahead of the rest of the field?
I don't know. I don't think it's fair to say, and it might be incorrect when you look at the season as a whole. So, of course, you're losing 3 races at the end of the championship after 11 rounds. You're taking the best of 8. So, actually, the pressure's quite on Tranter as he joined the season in round 4, and he's going to have to lose the first 3 races by default. Whereas Kelly, who's been racing the whole time, as well as many of the other drivers, they've got a few races that can be knocked off. So, it's not as clear as a Kelly and Tranter running away with it. And of course, Tranter's in 3rd place. Line is our 2nd place man with several podiums and consistent finishes.
Great point there, yeah. We're still waiting to see that first David Line win, or in fact Will Burnett as well, who's seemed to be a little cursed. But also we need to point out this week, sadly, Jim Kimberley's had to retire from the championship. Where's he gone to?
That's depressing. I know everyone's a bit sad about this. That livery was very popular amongst the drivers, and I'm sure they'll be sad not to see it on the grid this week and in future weeks. But rumours are that Kimberley's found himself a drive in a European racing series and has flown off mid-championship to go and compete there.
Maybe be sadly missed. So let's take a look at this week's track.
We're at Daytona, which is a huge track. It's we're not using the full oval configuration. As you mentioned, we're using the 24-hour configuration, which if you go into the track, there's a small little infield in the first sector, quite similar to Texas Speedway, with 2 right-hand hairpins. And then you're back on the oval after turn 6. And then we've got the long, curly straight until we hit the bus stop, which is quite different from what we've seen before when we had the bus stop back in Charlotte. This is a much more of a high-speed one, and track limits could play a factor in this. And then corner 12 and the rest of the oval for pretty much the back end of the track, it's a long wait. So I think a few drivers might go out and make a cup of tea if they're not getting involved in any slipstreaming, which could be really big this week.
Yeah, from what we saw of practice, we are expecting some huge slipstream battles, hopefully, so that could be exciting. There's a corner in the middle between those 2 right-hand hairpins where you'd think it was flat out, and normally it is when you're up to speed, but on cold tyres, that corner, it will be a nightmare.
Yeah, well, speaking of cold tyres, we've only got 1 lap that the drivers can go out on because of such a long track this week.
Well, let's take a look at that pole lap now.
So we're on board with Burnett, who got pole position this week and is coming off of the oval into the first corner, dropping down into 2nd gear to go left. He's gone on the grass a bit, manages to catch it. Well done, Burnett. Going for this very narrow section of the track, has got the pit exit on the left, dropping down the gears into the first right-hander on the International Horseshoe, into first there, really going quite slowly. And this is a left-hander that Gareth mentioned, where you don't want to go too flat out if you've got the cold tyres, but Burnett does, he manages to, and breaking down for that 2nd right-hander hairpin, sticks quite on the inside and using a bit of the runoff on the left. Now we're going into the oval section. The left-hander manages to just keep the car nice and tidy, and now jumping on quite a bumpy section onto the oval itself. And now first part of the T-break as we go on the curly straight. Just keep a nice, fairly consistent line going out wide, knowing that that bus stop chicane is going to be coming up. And drops gears into 4th, a bit of throttle in the middle, and then straight back on the power, just about gets away with about 3.5 tyres on that inner curb on the left, and the 2nd curly straight to come and complete the lap. No slipstream, of course, we're in qualifying, and he's the only car on track. And Burnett goes and crosses a line for his best position of the season with a 1:45.556. So Burnett comes in first with that 1:45.5, and joining him on the first row is Gavin Kelly. We've got 1:46 flat. Winslade comes in with very good qualifying in third place, with Hankin joining on the second row in fourth. Dixon manages fifth place with Ledge, Lawrence Arian Jenkins with a 1:51.6. And then we've got seventh and eighth with Tranter and Miller, who didn't set a time. Like we said, it's a one-shot qualifier. And then Line and Jones make up the fifth row, with Batty finishing plumb last. This race of attrition in qualifying, because people have struggled to set a lap with that one lap we can do.
Thanks, Jim. So now let's go down to the grid to see what happens in this race. Very interesting to see Winslade and the Ledge up there in the front rows of the grid. And away they go then.
And Figmo, Burnett goes in that new livery for his pole position. It's a great start from Winslade, who's managed to get the jump on Kelly.
Can he get the job done? Oh, look at Tranter squirming around on the back of Paul Dixon there in trying to get fourth place. So Burnett leading up to T3.
Everyone's looks very, very careful going for this. We've not had any contact yet, which is great for this league. We're getting better. Everyone's getting better every week. This is a great start.
And here's that cold tire corner. And wow, Burnett has lost it on that corner.
Spoke too soon.
Kelly attacking Winslade round the outside, but Winslade's on the apex here, so can he hold it? And Winslade is in the lead. Winslade in the lead for the first time in the Limited Adhesion Championship.
Without doing any dirty tricks like we would expect from him.
Yeah, no dirty tricks. So Kelly now looking for this slipstream for the first time in this race. We've got Hankin running in P3.
And Tranter and Kelly both benefited from the slipstream on this first section of the oval. Kelly looking on the inside now of Winslade before they come to the bus stop.
So I wonder what happened to Tranter though. Yeah, Tranter was ahead of Hankin and fell back behind him. So I wonder what happened there.
It could be a beneficial for him to be behind him. Now he's got the slipstream on him on this second part of the oval.
And we can see up ahead Winslade was in the slipstream for Kelly out to the outside now.
That's Noah's Ark now, these 2x2. And then we've got Burnett in fifth place with Dixon and Line 2x2. Miller and Batty battling behind it. Slipstream's hugely advantageous and giving us a lot of racing.
Oh, and Hankin just got presumably tagged by Tranter there and has gone into the pit wall, falling down the order.
That's disappointing.
And Tranter straight. That is such a shame. Straight up the inside though goes Tranter on Winslade to take P2.
So Winslade now dropped from first to third in the space of a lap. At the corner he inherited the lead. He's now back in third place.
But from the pace we saw in practice, you know, you nearly lost it there.
Wobble there.
Nearly collects Burnett. So both of those guys super lucky there. Great driving from Burnett to avoid having
Burnett's looking on the inside now, thinks just better of it, and knows he's going to have a big advantage on this first section of the oval, get the slipstream, although now he's got Dixon right on his tail.
Yeah, and look at those times as well. You've got Winslade, Burnett, Dixon, Line, Miller, Batty, all running very, very close together, with a bit of a gap forming to the Ledge, to Jones and Hankin at the back after his incident T1.
Well, up front, we've got the usual suspects now. They're becoming the usual suspects. So was that Line looking inside? Not this time. And Kelly and Tranter just stretching their lead.
Yeah, Burnett looks like he timed that perfectly through the bus stop, carrying as much momentum as he could to make sure he got the slipstream out of the bus stop onto this run to T1 now.
Well, Winslade's getting attacked from all quarters here.
All angles. And do you see Line there? He was stealing the slipstream from Winslade, then he cut across to try and pick it up from Burnett. Burnett's dropped to the inside now. And he is through.
Tranter on Kelly on that first corner.
Tranter into the lead. Wow, second week running, he's back in the lead of one of the races.
The line just backed out with Winslade there. Could have got his nose chopped a little bit. And going into the hairpin with Dixon now looking. Oh, Winslade's gone wide.
See, Line knows he's faster here, but he's got to be careful because he needs to get through cleanly and get up the road after those top three drivers. He cannot afford another mistake.
He's got quite a lot of talent behind him of Winslade, and yeah, it's a cork in the bottle a little bit here with Burnett trying to catch up on first place, which he lost on the first lap.
Burnett must be rubbing his hands in glee to see all those four trapped behind Winslade here. So
gives him a bit of breathing space. Winslade now. We've got a replay of the start.
This is on board with Tranter. Cracking start straight past the ledge. Looking to get alongside Dixon. And there's Hankin ahead. Which side's he going to go? Ooh, thought about the inside. Straight to the outside though. No hesitation at all.
Very clean racing, and he's back on the power.
He's just so decisive with it though. He's not making any errors or hesitation with it. It was just like that inside block, straight to the outside, round I go. On board with Batty now from right at the back. And there's the Jones.
Jones with a lot of wheel spin there. It's dispatched with Jones already.
Getting a nice look at the ledges, red and black Hassett inspired livery and Mission Win now. I like that car.
Yeah, well, it gets right past the ledge. He's just got so much more confidence on these cold tyres.
Yeah, and this is on board with Dixon now, and Hankin to the right of us. So we should see Tranter come. Wow, look at the speed he was carrying there. Incredible. And do you see though, he just clips onto the grass, but it almost just aids him going to where he needs to be for the next corner.
Indeed.
So back to lap one. Tranter dropped it. We didn't see that.
That's how he ended up behind, isn't it?
Ah, yes, that's how he got back. That's how Hankin got back past him.
Oof, what a squeeze.
Dixon nearly puts Batty in the sort of wall there.
And Miller just looking at these two, biding his time, apparently.
And we're on board Winslade now, looking back at David Line in his Make Real Media car.
Oh,
desperate to get through.
Oh, slipstreams everywhere, look at this. Kelly now, try and go there outside
for the
Tranter.
Oh, this takes me back to Texas, doesn't it?
This could be happening all race again.
Kelly
on the outside. Yeah, Kelly's made it. Can he keep it sticking there? He's gone on quite a wide line.
Well, he has made it through. Nicely done from Kelly. But look at that Tranter straight back on the attack. You're not going past me.
Well, this is great for Burnett now. He's going to be watching these two battle with no one immediately behind him. He can just hopefully start catching up on these guys and give it a top three race. Of course, Burnett lapped last week, but then managing to keep up with the leaders. He wants to do that same thing, but without being a lap down this week.
That's a great point, Jim. But you have to, from what we've seen of the last 2 weeks, when these guys battle, they still do it absolutely flat out. They don't make mistakes, get the job done, and just keep pumping in those incredibly fast lap times.
Well, the irony, I suppose, is that if these guys are on this oval layout, that they can actually assist each other with getting the slipstream, which Burnett's not going to benefit from while he's 3 seconds behind.
Again, great point. We're on board now with Batty. He's chasing Line and Winslade. This is going to be a three-way scrap in a sec. So are we on the run down?
Outside. Has Line made it already?
Yeah, into the bus stop. Oh, look at that. Winslade came back and got through again. Wow.
You can see already the confidence and the experience of these drivers starting to really show. I think week one, that could easily have been an accident or a spin, and now everyone giving each other quite a bit of space and improving the racing.
It could have been carnage. Are we going to go 3 wide here? Wow, look how close he is. Batty to David Line.
Bumper to bumper here, isn't it?
And Winslade down the inside of both of them.
Pick your braking spot, guys.
He doesn't want to give up this full space. Line around the outside.
Is he going to keep it on the inside? It's very tight for this section.
And look, just behind as well, Dixon and Miller are getting in this fight as well. Here we go into turn 3.
It's
Line,
going to be 5 abreast by the time we get onto the oval.
he's trying to carry so much speed, he just washed that wide, and Winslade just stuck to the inside and carried it off.
Well, Winslade is absorbing a lot of pressure here, and these drivers behind could start getting frustrated if they're watching Burnett, Kelly, and Tranter skip away into the distance. Line, of course, wanting to keep his mark on the championship, and 5th place, they want to improve on that.
Absolutely, yeah. But I mean, it's getting to the point now where there's so many quick drivers that a 5th place is, some weeks, it's going to be a decent result for some of these guys. Line to the outside now on the run to the bus stop.
We can see up front, that's
again,
Kelly and Tranter. Kelly just ahead. Burnett in 3rd easily, and got another replay now on lap 2.
So this is the Hankin and no. So
another spin.
Mark. I thought you maybe tapped Tony Hankin there, but no. Tony just got a little bit on the grass and dropped it on his own. That's such a shame for Tony though. But he'll come
no
back
damage by the looks
week,
of it.
which is a relief. Yeah. So here we can see out the bus stop. Line has got ahead now of Winslade.
Now Batty wants a piece too.
Yeah.
Now he's 3 abreast. Wow. Line on the inside line, but it might not be the quickest.
Dixon and Miller behind, they must be driving into an absolute vacuum. No, all the slipstream in the world from 3 cars.
This is great racing.
Batty's got his nose ahead.
Well, Dixon's looking to go the outside now. Oh, no way. Batty gets ahead of all of them.
Super move there. And Dixon is attacking Winslade now. Yeah, that was a great move around the outside from Batty. He just managed to be in the right place, got the right line into T1.
A lot of respect shown, right?
Yeah, Line's gone ahead of Winslade there.
We're on board with Hankin. And the ledge outbrakes itself, locks a brake, locks a front right, and Hankin makes his way through into 9th place.
So back to this
battle for 4th.
Battle for 4th, yeah, between 5 drivers. We haven't seen anything this close before in the championship.
Well, maybe the ovals, we give them a hard time, but it's producing some fantastic racing.
Yeah, it really is. So you can see there at the back of this 5, you've got Miller closing in on Dixon. Line having a go.
Line having a real look on the inside now. Winslade trying to get a slipstream off Batty, but Line's lost that slipstream now. He's moving back a bit. He's got the inside line for the bus stop. Oof, as tight as you like.
Yeah, but that's compromised both Line and Batty through there. Just how much can the back 3 take advantage of that?
Well, Dixon's also looking behind Winslade to get a slipstream himself, but Winslade's benefiting from the slipstream of those in front of him. Miller hanging back a little bit, maybe just enjoying the action.
And it's nice to see Dick. It's nice to see Paul back in the fight. He's had a couple of tricky weeks, so it's great to see him actually fighting up there in the thick end of it once again. Look how tight these guys. Oh, a little knock there from Winslade onto Line, pushes through back into 5th place.
Well, it looked like Winslade was initially holding these guys up, but he's really not been. He's not lost his opportunity to stay in 4th place, has he? So maybe he's just gained a bit more confidence with the tyres being rubbered in, the track being rubbered in, his tyres warmed up.
But it's one of those races where every time if you don't get your attack done, then the person behind you is going to get past you.
Attack or be attacked, right?
Yeah, you see a little crimping to the back of Winslade's car and to Line's car. So some of these slipstreams have probably been a bit of a bump draft even when they've actually clipped each other. And here we go onto the oval once again.
The line's really close this time.
He spent half the race trying to get past the orange crush machine.
You can see the effect there. Oh, he's switched it back. I was going to say, you can see the effect of the losing the slipstream, but maybe he just wanted to try the inside line for the bus stop. Makes it through okay. And now Winslade's got pressure from Dixon behind him.
Yeah, I think Winslow backed out a little early onto that bus stop. You probably could see that it was Dave was coming through whether he liked it or not, and it was just going to be an almighty accident otherwise. I mean, Dave's been staring at the back of that car for half the race now.
Well, the top three are going to be delighted with all this battling. They've now got themselves, Batty's 10 seconds behind the lead.
Yeah, it's
the net's closed to 2.4 seconds. So Kelly and Tranter losing a little bit of time.
So maybe they are holding themselves up, like you say, yeah.
Well, you can see that gap visually now. Tranter ahead of Kelly at the moment.
So he's got just under half the race to go. Burnett, can he get back into the lead of the race?
I've barely been able to catch a breath so far. I can't believe half the race has been done.
It's certainly been a frantic battle.
Well, these two are pumping in the last laps of 1:45.4, 1:45.0. And then Batty, Line, Winslade, Dixon 1:47. So that's where you're dropping back a little bit, because these two are battling but not losing too much time.
Yeah, whereas the other guys are battling and are losing time. This compromise. I mean, if you look at the best laps there, well, even then, I suppose that they've not even had any clear air to run, have they? From fourth down to eighth with Miller.
No, not taking anything away from Tranter and Kelly, of course, but perhaps battling amongst 5 cars might be a little bit more interfering than battling amongst 2. There's a few things more to keep your eye on. Kelly now on the outside. Well, this is emblematic of the championship at the moment. These two neck and neck. Kelly goes very wide into the first corner. Where's he going? That's not the way you need to go around that corner, Gavin. And now Burnett's going to be able to close up.
That's very unusual to see. We don't see many mistakes from Gavin Kelly. He looked a little ragged, I guess, at Line Rock, but he was attack all race long, trying to take the battle to Mark. So unusual for him to see. Yeah. Much so. So here we are with Dixon and Miller.
And Winslade's somehow behind both of them now. So Winslade's dropped back to 8th place, but if any of these ones in front of him have an issue, that's 4th place. And Miller and Dixon having a great battle here. Miller on his way through. Dixon trying to fight back on this infield section before they jump on the oval. So Dixon in for a great shout of getting a slipstream and getting past Miller. Getting repast Miller.
Repass Miller, yeah. So can Winslade make this a 3-car battle once again? Or is this a 2-car battle for 6th and 7th?
Well, speaking of 2-car battles, Batty and Line seem to have got a little bit ahead and got a bit more space. You can see them just up in the distance a bit.
Yeah, side by side then into the bus stop.
Dixon was slightly ahead, gives them a bit of breathing space. Now Winslade's going to be attacking.
Well, Winslade's just zoomed onto the back with that.
We took that bus stop so fast there that, I think Dixon might be a bit surprised that he's got to worry about Winslade. Winslade was a little bit behind them, but now benefiting from the slipstream.
Like you say, he thinks he gets the job done, and then bam, guess who's there?
It's a dirty Winslade.
Surprisingly clean Winslade this week so far. To the inside, 3 wide, T1.
It's great racing. And Winslade
carries it through. Miller's run wide. Miller ran wide. Dixon slightly outbraked himself, and look who's back in 6th place. What is going on with this race?
Well, Dixon's managed to get the place back, but he's lost a place at the same time, and it's just ended up in 7th still. Miller now looking to try and reclaim these lost positions.
Now, like you say, Line and Batty are getting a couple of seconds ahead of this battle now, so I wonder whether if one of these guys can get ahead decisively, can they get back into that 4th, 5th battle, or is this now a cemented 6th to 8th battle? Be interesting to see what goes on next. Well, this race has just been mental.
Yes. has been a bit one that you can't take your eyes off. And I'm just looking at the times now as we're watching Miller try and get Dixon before the bus stop. And Kelly hasn't managed to clinch any time back off Tranter, which isn't too surprising. Tranter's been non-stop. Oh, is that Miller going a bit oversteering? No, keeps a hold of it.
He did well there, but Burnett didn't really cruise up on the back of Kelly yet, despite that incident.
Indeed. Well, we're looking at Tranter now.
Looks like he's got the outer fringes of a toe, based on what I could see there. But he probably want a bit more than 2-second gap to start hoovering his way onto the back of that rear wing of the Kelly machine.
Well,
Can Burnett make Kelly cannon fodder?
Well, did Gavin just oversteer a bit there? He seemed to lose a little bit of time. Now 2.25 seconds down on Tranter. Burnett 2 seconds below that, and then big gap to Batty. We're on board. Well, we've just cut to line chasing him down. The race starting to calm down a little bit as the drivers get into position, cementing their places. Behind these two, Winslade is now ahead of Miller. So Miller's back past Dixon, with Hankin, Ledge and Jones making up the bottom three.
That's still a breathless battle going on back there then, in the 6th to 8th places. Yeah, Batty and Line done a lot of racing together in karting and across various titles. So good to see them actually on track together, because we haven't had too many battles in the last 3-4 weeks of them being together in this championship. Here we can see Miller then going to the outside of Winslade. This is on the run to the bus stop.
I don't want to go side by side through there, and Miller's through. Winslade's been very quick through here, and he's not lost too much time on Miller through there. So if Winslade can keep it quite close, that slipstream might come back to him for the first corner.
Yeah, only 5.5 minutes left, so we're only talking about another 3 laps of the race to go. Plenty of time then. Well, there he goes, straight to the outside. He's picked up that slipstream.
It's going to be neck and neck to the first corner. But Miller's got the inside line comfortably. Has he outbraked himself?
Oh, little kiss there. Miller onto the curb.
Yeah, a little dirty kiss there from Winslade, but not too much damage. But that's allowed Dixon to catch right up. And what an audacious move.
Dixon! Amazing stuff. And so Miller has just gone from 6th to 8th in the space of, 2 corners?
Well, it's been action-packed between these three, hasn't it? Winslade now fancying a position back.
Gets it onto the apex and just holds it there. And says, go around the outside, mate. Have it. Wow. Well,
Miller's going to be confused a bit confused as to why he's all of a sudden back down in 8th place when he seems to have done everything right there.
Bit of a head scratcher for him. On board now with Dixon.
Dixon in his perpetual 7th place, despite overtaking Miller, overtaking Winslade, and then losing the places again. It's been past the position between these three.
Yeah, here we go into the bus stop once again. You see Line and Batty just already outside of it. And look at that.
Yeah, Burnett is now caught up on Kelly. Kelly's lost more time, and Burnett's actually caught up because they're only just 2.7 seconds behind Tranter. But Burnett's on the outside for the turn 1. Kelly, of course, ran wide to give up that play or to allow Burnett to catch up on that place. And now Burnett's through into 2nd. Lovely
move there from Burnett. And we cut back once again. Dixon ahead of Winslade. Winslade to the inside, though. He'll go into T1 once again. And Winslade's back into 6th.
Well, Miller's just a little bit behind them now, but this is where they seem to close up in this infield section. And Dixon's really having an attack now into this first horseshoe. It's on the inside, but Winslade seems to have the drive on the outside to keep him behind, to keep him at bay for now.
None of these guys are decisively quicker than each other on this track. So if we look at their best laps, we've got a 1:45.6 from Winslade, 1:46.7 Dixon, 1:45.7 from Miller.
Well, Dixon's just gone a little bit wide there, and Miller's caught up a little bit too.
So it just seems to be, depending on the corner on the track, is whether they're going to be able to launch an attack or not.
Well, you're going to start your attack. This is where it is. And we've got back to Burnett, who's still ahead of Kelly. Burnett will be thinking what might have been after his early spin, but a great recovery into second. He dropped down to 4th place, I think it was. And back to the Dixon-Winslade battle.
Side by side once again. We've only got 2 minutes left of the race. This is coming into the bus stop once again. Winslade, slightly better line, manages to scamper through there.
Well, I said in the initial description of the race, this is where you'd make a cup of tea. You'd be mad to go and make a cup of tea because this is where the action's happening on these two oval sections.
No!
Oh, no!
Dixon's clipped him.
And a big impact there from Winslade. He'll be so frustrated. Now he's to allow Hankin going through. His car looks a mess.
That's a write-off. Oh, what a shame. And that's allowed Miller to get through Dixon, obviously, because Dixon span in that crash.
And Miller,
what a shame.
Miller had been biding his time behind them. Now ended up being the beneficiary of 6th and Winslade in the pits.
Yeah, Ledger's just gone through. So he's all the way back down to 10th place now.
He's only got Gary Jones behind him.
And here comes...
And here's Jones himself now. Quick repair done. Winslade in last. 55 seconds and 2 laps remaining.
A short amount of race left. Here's Hankin.
Yeah, well, Dixon's got new company.
Very much a case of what might have been for Tony this race, because he was showing well in that first couple of laps. And just such an unfortunate loss of control when he hit the grass into T1.
Well, he's got the opportunity now to get ahead of Dixon and grab 7th place, demonstrating why he should continue racing in this unpredictable limited adhesion championship, and now catching on the inside for the bus stop. Has he managed to keep it sticking? He does.
You got a feel for Paul as well, though, because he was doing so well with that, such a relentless battle with Winslade and Miller for so many laps. And just slightly misjudged coming out of the slipstream. No fault there.
No, I don't think there's any malice involved. Any kind of contact could ruin a race, and he's not wanting to hit any cars.
No, absolutely. On board with Dixon. They'll do cleaning his visor, though. That's mucky as.
We're on the last lap now. Tranter with a 3-second lead over Burnett, who's still managed to keep Kelly behind him. So the top 3 look solidified. They've not changed since the start. Well, since Burnett managed to get himself past it back into the top 3. That has been the podium finishers.
And 8 seconds back to Batty in 4th place, with line slipped back a bit from Batty. Look, he's a few seconds back on him now.
Well, this battle now, Dixon being the heart of all the fights of the race here. And Hankin's
Winslade's got through. Winslade's got through Gary Jones at the back. Great move from Hankin there. So Hankin up to 7th. He's fought his way back very nicely.
Well, he's going to be eyeing up Miller now. Miller in 6th. Managed to get through after Dixon and Winslade hit each other.
Surely he's not got time, though, to get to Miller. He's only got the oval and the bus stop to do it in.
Well, here we're watching our victor, Tranter, for his 2nd victory in a row.
Across the line, though. A fantastic drive from Mark Tranter there. I don't think anyone had a...
Oh, what's happened there behind? And there's another issue, another bit of contact, it looked like.
Well, well, yeah.
Dixon
So
limping hole and... Oh, it's not... Dixon might be able to get... There's a lot of damage there on Hankin's car for his 2nd incident of the race.
Oh, what's happened there? Oh, dear me. That's such a confusing incident in the last lap. Here's Lawrence Aaron Jenkins going past. And Lawrence up to 8th place because of that incident.
Well, After all of
Tony.
that, Lawrence loses 2 places from his starting slot on the grid.
And Winslow's
Some
past
attrition in the
Hankin
end.
now. Oh, I'd like to see a replay of that incident because that was confusing. Here we can see Kelly back in the pits and lots of celebrating going on there on the grass.
Well, Burnett will be delighted with his second place, I'm sure. A bit frustrated after his issues in the first lap. Well, we've got the replays now. But Burnett getting his second podium of the season and then a joint best finish.
Yeah, so this is Winslow getting past Gary Jones at the end.
He just gets a much better drive off onto the oval, doesn't he?
Jones taking the whole race very cautiously, I have to say. So Dixon is behind Hankin here into the bus stop. They both
They don't even touch.
Wow.
Dixon decides just to follow the leader there. And
follow him into a bit of a lazy spin.
yeah, synchronized spinning.
What an incredible race.
Well, captivating again, wasn't it?
Amazing stuff. So, what do you make of that?
Well, it's I'm really delighted to see Burnett after his nightmare of the start of the season, apart from his Summit Point race, to finish second despite his incident at the start. Starting to think what the championship could be. You asked at the start of the race if it's a 2-horse race, and I don't think it is. And Burnett showing why there. When you drop the worst races out of contention here, he's not going to be doing too badly. Kelly getting another podium. He's only not been on the top 3 once this season. And Tranter showing why he's just such a great addition to the league with another victory.
I just cannot wait to see what happens next week with the Kelly Tranter battles. I mean, that's our big headline, I suppose. But as you say, behind we've got Batty with another 4th place to go with his win, and he had a 4th in Texas as well. So he had that horror show in Lime Rock, but as you say, that's his drop score. So plenty more to see from him, I expect.
We saw him initially coming in with a victory back at Summit Point. So yeah, I mean, this championship could be anybody's really. Just have a poor race, and we've seen we're getting a bit cleaner at the start, but incidents still there. We saw Kelly have an incident at Summit Point early in the race from
Indeed
the lead.
Yeah.
Now we've had Burnett with the same here, that it's having a good qualifying is no clear indication that you're going to win the race.
Yeah. So let's have a quick scan down of the championship then, following that race, with their worst 3 scores dropped. With Gavin Kelly, he'd be sitting on 75, Mark Tranter second, 68, David Lyne, 48, Will Burnett, 46, Rob Miller, 41. Then we got Stephen Batty, Hankin, Kimberley, Gareth Winslow, Gary Jones, Paul Dixon, and the Ledge bringing up the rear in 12th. So, yeah, it's getting very tight at the top between Kelly and Tranter, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it's going to be too difficult to call in the end. If Tranter keeps himself ahead of Kelly again, like he did at Lime Rock and like he's done now, then Kelly could see that championship lead slip away, and we'll have to start seeing how consistent it can be. I think Kelly's perhaps got the advantage because he can drop a few races and not be too much of a disadvantage. But if Tranter has an incident, then that's going to be a big disadvantage, as he doesn't have any spare races to lose due to the format of this championship.
Yeah, great point. Well, next week we're going to be at Tsukuba in Japan. So a very different track, very tight, very twisty, very short. Very much looking forward to that one. Jim, I want to thank you so much for once again being with me in the virtual box. An amazing race to call.
I've really enjoyed it once again. Yeah, continues to be a championship that I enjoy watching, enjoy commentating on, and just get very excited to see how it's going to be next week.
Yeah, and we will see you there. So once again, this has been round 6 of the limited Adhesion Radical Championship presented by Macreal Media. I'm Gareth, he's Jim. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Cheers, bye.